Whether you're attempting a new recipe or starting a new project, self-doubt can creep in and cause trouble. But not if you let self-doubt be your friend. That's the advice of my next guest, motivational speaker and life coach Tiffany Petersen, who believes doubting yourself can actually be an okay thing. It can have an upside.
Yeah, I mean, you wouldn't think so, right?
That's contrary to what we are typically thinking.
Right, is to think about how could self-doubt then be my ally, all right? Or be my ally of like, help me to grow, help me to improve. And so, yeah, it is definitely a possibility.
So is self-doubt something that creeps into everybody? I mean, or does it just hit a certain segment of us?
No, everybody, and I think that's the first thing that I want to make sure everyone hears is to normalize it, right? Everyone feels self-doubt at various times in their life. Some rendition of, am I enough? Am I measuring up? Is my work valuable? Am I a good mom? Is this project going to be received well, right? Everyone goes through that. And I think that's really important is because we create this idea that other people seem so much more confident, put together all the time. So anyone you might know that you might think and have on a pedestal that they seem always put together or always happy, always confident, they too have moments of life where their own self-doubt comes in because self-doubt is part of the human experience.
And so realize that you're not the only one.
Yes.
That other people are
so normal.
Are feeling this way.
Yes.
Are we too quick to believe the self-doubt and to believe the doubts we have?
Yes. So there's this phrase I love to say that feelings aren't facts. They're just feedback. They're teachers. So I invite you, secondly, is to then get curious. When the self-doubt is on the rise, is poke holes in it and get curious about it. Is don't just take your feelings, because often we experience self-doubt as a feeling, right? Discouragement, doubt, negativity. Rather than looking at for yourself is, what's this here to teach me? Or what's this really about? Is this even mine? Is it someone else's? Maybe someone made a comment, or maybe you were scrolling social media and you got stuck in the comparison trap. And so now you're all of a sudden feeling all of this doubt. Get curious about it. What's that really about? What's the teacher there?
To really ask questions.
Yes, for sure.
And a lot of questions. I mean, you're really kind of getting curious, like you said, and poking it at what's really behind those thoughts of self-doubt. Is it also a learning opportunity?
I love to utilize self-doubt. This is how we transition it from a negative thing to a potentially positive thing, is to allow it to inspire you to grow, right? Is to look at, whether with your journal or with a trusted friend, is to say, what's this really about for me as you're exploring it? But asking yourself, what would I rather create? So if I'm feeling, say, insecure about my body or my health, or about my home or organization, or about my business or whatever, is ask then, what would I rather experience? What would I create from this differently? Is there a skill or a tool or an attribute in myself I want to work on to proactively develop?
Okay.
Yeah.
That's something we can do. You also say that self-doubt can be a sign of something else.
Yeah. So sometimes when the self-doubt is high, often for myself, if I'm tired, if I'm empty, if I'm hangry, right? Sometimes might be the case. But a lot of times self-doubt, if it's on the rise in your life, it's often a cue for more self-care, to take time to invest in yourself, your body, mind, spirit, get better sleep, right? Take some time to read, take time to unplug. If you find a lot of insecurities up in your life, you might need a break from your social media, for instance, and go hike in the woods or spend some time just getting recentered and grounded. But definitely, I love that self-care is good all the time, but especially when we're feeling that extra sense of doubt or insecurity at play in our lives.
It's almost like a timeout. Like maybe take a little extra time and see if you still are feeling those feelings tomorrow or the next day.
Right.
So you're taking a breather.
Yeah, you're giving yourself some space, like you just said, to breathe, to think through it, to have a little clear thought, rather than just, oh, I feel this way, it must be truth. Your feelings, again, are not always truth. Is that it's just an experience that you're having in that moment.
Why do doubts pop up? I mean, why are we like constantly in this battle of, yeah, you're not good enough, or you're not.
Do we have 2 hours?
Yeah.
No, I know, right? That we can go in depth on this.
Do you grow out of self-doubt? I mean, is it something we can get over, we can get past?
No, and I hope you hear that as really good news, not as like depressing news, but we never outgrow it because it's part of the human experience. Sometimes in the personal development world, there's this phrase that says new level, new devil, right? As anytime you're gonna grow, you're gonna feel that. What I like to help you think about is we wanna be focused more on the mindset of progress and not perfection. Is I am not perfect with this. There are plenty of times and days where my own self-doubt creeps in, I feel insecure, I feel something come up. Is the issue is not if it comes up, it's about more so how do I handle it when it comes up? And how do I want to better, like some of the other things we've talked about, more kindly navigate that experience with myself. But I definitely want yourself and myself, every one of you watching, is to be aware that this is a life experience, and it's just about experiences where we get to practice with these principles. Never about perfection with these principles, but about practice of them.
Can self-doubt sometimes be hard to diagnose? I mean, can you sometimes just not even know that you're doubting yourself? That maybe it's just, you know, sometimes I feel like, oh, I just am not feeling like myself, but I don't necessarily know that I'm doubting myself.
Right.
How do we really zone in?
Yeah. Well, I think it can creep in. It's a sneaky little thing. Sometimes we have the blatant ones where we're thinking, oh my gosh, I'm feeling this way. You catch yourself say something really negative about yourself, or you're feeling something dramatically. But just even the small, simple things. And again, how I like to proactively handle that is if someone's really centered in their self-care and they feel that strong sense of intuition, they know themselves, they know their heart, their inner voice, Holy Spirit, whatever you call that, that inner voice is, if you're nourishing that regularly in your life, you'll be able to discern it when it comes up.
Okay, and where can we find more of your insights?
Yeah, my website's tiffanyspeaks.com, or Facebook is just simply my name, Tiffany Petersen.
Okay, thanks for stopping by.
Yeah, thanks for having me.